everybody. This is Anthony with The Weekly Buffer, an innovation and tech today podcast where we go through 3 tech news stories in 5-minute segments. I'm joined today by...
I'm Adam.
And...
I'm Dylan.
And we have a few stories we want to go over. First of all, did everyone have a good weekend?
Oh yeah, it was pretty good, pretty relaxing. It's good to get that regroup of energy and stuff like that. That Spider-Man movie came out.
Spider-Man?
If you haven't checked out last episode, we'll break that down.
You guys been going pretty good. I went skiing this weekend, and I injured myself in a non-skiing way. I slipped on ice at the lodge. So it wasn't even like a cool trick I was trying to do. I literally just was walking to get a slice of pizza.
Like after you got done skiing?
Yeah, like mid like lunchtime. So that was my big injury. That was good times. Yeah. And speaking of injuries, I was been curious about badges lately.
Dylan. Oh, great transition.
Really good transition.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about badges. They should give those out to people with injuries.
They do that. Those are called Darwin Awards.
Yeah, that's true. Except those people die, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a whole thing. However, I know your topic of the day has something to do with badges. If you
that's right. So, Aurora Public Schools, a district that's right in our backyard, is doing something amazing with digital badge credentialing.
Digital badge. Now, can you explain a little bit for our viewers, like what digital badges are for those that don't really even know or haven't heard?
Sure. So digital badges and achievements are all over the place, right? So anytime you're playing a game on your phone or another game these days, you can score achievements, right?
Right.
So if you achieve a certain level of something or maybe repeat a really hard challenge a few different times.
Like Xbox gives you achievements every time you set a certain goal or hit a...
Right.
Yeah,
and with those achievements comes this little insignia that you get kind of on your profile, right, that other people can see often, and it goes with you. Mm-hmm. Well, the same thing is happening in education. They've been doing this for a long time. That's nothing new, actually, using the badges. Mm-hmm. The big difference here is they're doing badge credentialing where they're kind of giving these students much bigger opportunities with colleges and employers beyond this. So right now, when you earn a badge in school, it just kind of sticks with you in school. Like, it's cool, your friends see it, but it doesn't replace your grades, right? Okay. Your grades are the most important thing, but they're just a question on how well you did on a test, right? I mean, have you guys ever been taking a test badly and then that sticks with you?
Never my entire life. No, I aced everything.
I'm thinking more of like grade school too. Like you would actually, I know my school we'd get like report cards. Obviously every quarter they break it down to semester, quarter, and you obviously that followed through your whole education. So you could look back and see like second grade or third grade, like, oh, I was doing poorly here, and then I picked back up. But I like the idea how it sticks with, like, whose eyes are really looking at those achievements.
Well, see, that's the important part, is that badges have not really been connected to any real-world things outside of school up until recently. So Aurora teamed up with employers nationally, right? They got employers on board to endorse these badges, endorse their curriculum that was associated with these badges, so that when students earn these, they can put that on their resume. Yeah. And these employers are like, hey, you know how to collaborate. You know, it's all the soft skills, right? That you can't prove in a test
skills
score.
And
exactly.
Teamwork. Exactly.
Yeah. How, are you a good listener? You know,
it's reminding me
problem solver.
It's reminding me of kind of like Boy Scouts, where you actually get a badge, but it wasn't digital. But for every little like achievement or kind of like trade that you'd learn, and that would go with you too. But I think too, even obviously when you get to like Eagle Scout and all that. So But now bringing tech involved and digitally, that's really cool involving that.
Yeah. Well, are there going to be negative badges as well for like poor hygiene, like passes notes? You know, I mean,
spit wad. No,
yeah.
I don't think there are yet.
Okay.
As far as I know, this is all meant to increase the opportunities for students.
So how did you hear about badges like firsthand?
Oh, so I used to work for an education technology company, and we had badges built into our system. Schoology, shout out to you.
Nice.
So you could create badges and award them to students.
Right.
But the problem with that is, with those is that they didn't really carry on unless you were in Schoology, right? And that was kind of the thing. Like, if you're in the system and you're still using the system, you have those badges.
So now Aurora picked it up, and they're carrying that over, kind of.
Well, so they're doing their own thing, and right, but they're not. What they're doing is they've created this entire curriculum with these achievement badges that are endorsed by outside entities, so that when a student earns this, it's a real skill that they have, and they can show that, and those employers recognize that.
Nice.
And they also get, so the organizations, which I'm hoping to be one, Innovation Tech Today, we're going to get in on this.
Oh yeah. Some cool badges.
So when a student earns a particular badge that we endorse, say for journalism, right? Then they are awarded they get to come and visit us and see how a publication is put together and get their foot in the door and maybe even get an internship, something like that.
Yeah, I really like those kind of programs too that get you out of the classroom and kind of some of those, not just books and papers and tests and actual real world experiences. And now they can have something to show from that. That's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's really
some
cool.
Interesting stuff. Well, speaking of badges, death has been on my mind quite a bit lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
great transition there.
Great, yeah. Mortality has been on my mind.
Why is that?
Oh, that's because you see, we're near the end of the year. It's a time to reflect on whatnot.
2018.
Some celebrities, I'm pretty sure, died this year.
God.
I think somebody did. I think Ernest Borgnine died. I'm not sure though. However, a lot of technology passed away this year as well in 2018.
Oh, this will be really
comes
interesting.
and goes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think it's almost surprising how little was on this list. I just kind of went with some of the most notable ones.
I think
this is by CNET, by the way.
Yeah, I think we get biased too to all the tech that gets thrown at us, and like some of this stuff just kind of goes over our head, like, oh, that's something new, or they redo something, and so this will be really interesting to hear some of the.
Well, it always seems like things don't actually die, like they just come back in like 3 or 4 years.
Someone reinvents
rebooted.
Zombie tech.
Yeah, pretty much.
Zombie tech.
Starting out, the first one that I looked at was GeoCities. Do you guys remember GeoCities at all?
GeoCities.
No.
It was basically like Wix.com before Wix.com. It was almost these weird little communities. You could make your own like really crappy looking web page, and there was just a lot of weirdos out there.
I love
it.
GeoCities.
Making their like
interesting.
Yeah, it was like
you're gonna like revamp like all these dead ones, and people are gonna really go.
Hey,
look up GeoCities.
Yeah. Let's get a Kickstarter together. Let's get GeoCities back because we need it now more than ever. The PlayStation Vita, I think, was officially canceled this year.
That sounds familiar, but
I'm sorry. What's the Vita?
So the Vita was the handheld. There was the PSP. That
I remember the
just came
PSP.
out. Yeah,
I had that.
And the PS Vita was the sequel to it, and it just it pretty much tanked.
Really?
I mean, they just didn't make games for it. There was like almost no original games. There's a lot of.
So
ports.
is it just a controller?
Kind of. Well, you could use it as a controller for PlayStation.
It had a screen on it though too.
Yeah.
It was portable. Yeah.
And it came out at the same time as the 3DS, pretty much, like within a year of each other.
Gaming competitions, it's always going to be someone outweighs the other. But PlayStation.
But PlayStation doesn't have this one. The Volkswagen Beetle.
What?
On its way out. Yeah.
That was
Beetle's
my
gone.
first car. That kind of hits me hard. Yeah, I had a
What year you had a newer one?
71.
Ooh, the old ones. I like the old ones.
Yeah. They used to float too. So I don't know why they would take that away. You could float.
Did you have the shag rug interior?
No,
and everything
I didn't.
Like that?
No, they had a seal on the bottom where I was in a flood once, and
you were in a. It was like a duckmobile.
I was in a flood and I was floating sideways. No joke. And the bugs did float as long as the seal wasn't broken.
Oh my
God.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a design flaw at some point. Like it does keep you dry.
It
does keep you dry, but then once you're out on water, like I don't know what you do.
Really crazy. They were the longest running. That's really crazy.
Yeah, what are we gonna do nowadays in case of biblical flood?
I thought they revamped the Beetle like not too long, like how the look of it and everything. Like didn't they just? I don't know. That's crazy.
I don't think they actually did.
Don't look at it.
I'm not sure though.
The old one's dead in the new.
Yeah. Miitomo, which was the very first app by Nintendo, which only came out 2.5 years ago. I remember everyone was using it for a little bit.
Can you give me a quick little synopsis on Miitomo?
You know the little Miis that you create?
Those
little things.
Miis.
Yeah.
They were like avatars for your profile, I think.
You basically make that and you like answer questions every day, and the more you do it, you could collect coins and you could actually buy Nintendo games
reward
and
system.
Rewards, yeah.
There you
and
go.
And it didn't survive, huh?
Didn't survive. It's out. Telltale Games, the entire studio folded. Wow. Who made like those Walking Dead games? They made some Batman games.
Telltale,
pretty good. And then finally, my handwriting is terrible. Google Plus, I think, should not come as a shock to any of us.
It's finally gone.
It took them so long to finally put it.
Yeah, it's been dead a long time. It just
and aren't they like revamping something? Aren't they doing something else with that, like a different whole platform?
Well, I believe the case was that it's made up of a bunch of different elements, right? And there were different departments for each element, and they are continuing to work on some of those elements. It's just not together as Google Plus,
as one big whole.
It's terrible. Where am me and my buddies going to talk now? Like that was the one place that we could all get together.
One place,
chat message, comment on each other's photos. Not a lot of people do that these days. I mean, that doesn't come as a shock. What was interesting, there was a lot of different. I don't think that was even the only social media network that folded this year. There was like another like Facebook kind of ripoff that went under. Like, I think just a few years ago when like Google Plus got started, everyone thought that they could do just as well as Facebook because they said people, not everyone likes it.
Zuckerberg could do it, right? No, just kidding.
And it's never worked out. Has there ever really been anything that's competed?
Another big thing, yeah. I mean, since Snapchat,
kind of Twitter,
Snapchat's
not really even doing very much anymore.
Yeah, they're kind of falling off.
Insta, I guess, but Facebook owns them.
I mean, throughout history,
but it's also different.
I mean, just throughout history, though, if you really take a step back, I mean, everything kind of goes through that transition. And I mean, it's a new year. I think a lot of people have new ideas. The way we get our media and stuff like that, and the internet is a thing. We're even talking about like 8K or 8G or what is it, technology.
Yeah, I think it's a lot less. 5G. I think it's a lot less about the. What's the next Facebook, right? Because that's an experiment in how do we want to exist online, right? How do we want to be there?
Socialize,
well, so Instagram, Instagram's a very different take on that. And even though they're owned by Facebook, it's a whole separate deal. And I mean, if you're just trying to recreate Facebook, it's not going to work.
I think he's meaning like the next big thing like Facebook though.
Like
trying to recreate it.
I was thinking about a new platform called Disposition Journal.
Disposition Journal?
Yeah. It's a lot like Facebook,
likes and dislikes.
But it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Just slightly off. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I would use that for a week, and then move on. And speaking of moving on, there's a transition.
Actually, I kind of wanted to plug National Geographic actually sent the 2019 Almanac, which is
awesome.
Which is totally awesome. I had a chance to flip through it. It's actually here. I'll read the promo here about it. It says a book about answering questions that have the power to deepen our knowledge of the world, inspire change, and express our insatiable curiosity. So as a kid, go ahead.
That's weird. Rob Schneider's book had the exact same tagline. That's weird. Yeah.
Dang, he stole that from. But no, I was just thinking too. I would probably go through. This book is amazing. There's so many great topics. I just wanted to kind of go through some of these. Maybe even the way that they formatted this. Each section breaks down into like exploration, the planet, life on Earth, and it kind of starts out with a quiz master. Which is really interesting.
Very cool.
So I kind of wanted to maybe drop some knowledge on you guys, see if you guys pulled up some old facts maybe.
Okay, all right.
Wait. Let's see here.
Let me look away. I don't want to cheat.
So I really like the layout of this too, because it starts off and it's real short, just descriptive. So I got a couple of questions here. Maybe we can drop on you guys. So
we edit in some Jeopardy music later, or we get sued for that.
Okay, so here's one of the first questions, and this is in the first section, which is just hot new science. I'll just touch on that for a quick. In what ocean were the first extremophiles living near hydrothermal vents discovered?
Indian.
So which ocean? And you guys obviously know what extremophiles are, right?
Of course.
Can you break down what an extremophile is if you don't know?
An extremophile is an organism that thrives in extreme conditions. So generally in the ocean, they're going to be near vents that are coming from the Earth's mantle. Right. So it's super hot, super toxic for anything else, but these organisms love it.
Right. Okay. So what ocean? Without looking here, I gotta fill.
I'm going Indian Ocean because it's the first one that comes to mind.
No bad if you.
Wait, no.
I didn't know this one. It kind of blew my mind. But when you hear the name, you're gonna be like, oh, that makes sense.
Pacific.
Wait. What's the last
called? Let me go back to the question too, because it does say.
Arctic, Antarctic. It's probably.
Why do we have so many oceans?
All right.
It should just all be the ocean.
Well, the question was kind of curveball because the answer is the black boiling sea. So the ocean kind of threw it off. Now that I'm reading it, just say.
Ouch.
Also that's a Mario level.
It's in the Pacific Ocean though, so one of you guys are right.
Yes, it was me.
Right, and so it says the Pacific Ocean, real quick, by the Galapagos Rift in 1977. So, and they kind of discovered, looks like they discovered crabs, worms, shrimp, and bacteria. And obviously, like Dylan touched on, 750 degrees Fahrenheit. So I thought that was really cool. Just going through strange little facts like that. Extremophiles obviously are some of the organisms that got discovered that kind of lead us to think that there's other living organisms on other planets. So some of that kind of stuff really intrigues me. It really goes into exploring what's the moon on Jupiter. Europa. Frozen.
I believe so, yeah.
Europa.
And there's also a frozen one around Saturn called Io, I believe. Yeah, and so those potentially have like giant 6-foot space clams.
Yeah, thoroughly. Yeah, it'd be crazy to.
Interesting.
So touching on that one was really cool. I thought that was. And I mean, talking about space.
All right, give us a hard one this time.
All right. Here we go. What's a chemical compatibilizer for diving safely into the ocean bottom, recycling plastic, or breathing in the moon's atmosphere? I'm gonna ask that one more time.
Yeah, say that again.
What's a chemical compatibilizer?
Okay.
And I actually could show you. It's compatibilizer.
Oh.
Compatibilizer.
Now I know what it is.
Is it for diving safely into the ocean, recycling plastic, or breathing in the moon's atmosphere?
First one.
Diving to the ocean bottom,
Yes.
Run me through the exit.
recycling plastic, or breathing into the moon's atmosphere?
I'm also gonna say the ocean bottom.
Well, then I'm changing mine. I'm going to go with the recycling one.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Sweet.
that was good.
I knew it.
So this one kind of blew me too, and I didn't know obviously this one either. But a compatibilizer, it looks like so for like thousands of years, and obviously just lately they've been trying to master like recycling, and it says too that so compatibilizers are like a chemical breakdown that lets different plastics be recycled together. So I guess they've been having a problem with different plastics. Kind of, it says that they kind of been losing money due to just like sorting and separating, and it's kind of like certain plastics can't be combined, kind of like oil and water. It's kind of like that. So it helps chemically break down that process. So it kind of blew my mind on that. And even talking about recycling, it has a short little synopsis on like how technology is helping just sort. Even they had a big problem with companies just sorting out things that were like breaking down and stuff like that. So I thought that one was really cool.
All right. I think we should finish up with like one.
The last one.
Okay. One that we could easily get.
All right. This one is real. This one's kind of interesting too because all of these are new sciences. So this one will blow your mind too.
All right.
What food has already been improved via the CRISPR gene editing technique?
Oh.
And obviously, if could you or one of you guys, obviously you know a little bit about CRISPR.
I know a little bit about CRISPR, yeah.
Can you break
Don't
down
ask me to
CRISPR?
explain it, but I'm sure that my friend Dylan here could.
So CRISPR is a natural technique used by, I think, bacteria.
Bacteria, correct.
That is a way of editing genes to either include or remove certain genes within a genome.
And yeah, scientists are now kind of improving this cycle. It's kind of getting real ethical with people.
It's basically chemical scissors that you can go in and then
editing
take
genes.
apart and add them together.
So editing genes. So back to the question.
Food?
What is one of our great food? Is it radishes? I'll give you a multiple choice here.
All right.
Brussels sprouts or mushrooms?
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Ooh. All three of those need to be edited and improved, I would say. I'm gonna go with Brussels sprouts though. I feel like they're like a blank canvas that you can just play with. And also they're terrible.
Edit away.
Okay.
I ate one for the first time like last week.
For the first time, a Brussels?
Yeah, I've never eaten a Brussels sprout before, and I ate it and I didn't like it.
Space cabbage, man.
My stomach hurts now.
All right, what's yours?
I think I'm gonna go with radishes because I think they turn some people off with their pungent flavor and smell. So you're gonna take that out of it.
I like the way that your thinking method is, but both of you guys are wrong.
Come on.
Mushrooms.
So it was mushrooms, and it says that CRISPR could be used to develop drought-resistant and otherwise harder crops. But the mushrooms, it says that they used it to edit around the brown. That's been like how they start to.
Yeah.
It says that they. CRISPR mushrooms that don't brown have been approved already in the U.S.
Fascinating. So if they're not browning, are they deteriorating the same way?
I don't know too much about the like details
there's
about
no
that.
time for a curveball right now.
But I think and it's really interesting. So like I said, just plug in. It's a great book. Christmas is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's just interested it's a great encyclopedia almanac. There's so many great facts, science, tech. Perfect gift for anybody.
Yeah, just go to your local Borders bookseller, and I'm sure they will have it available for you.
You know what's also a great gift for the holidays?
What, Dylan?
Innovation in Tech Today, a subscription. Did you know that something? I heard this stat. I can't tell you where it's from, but I'm going to say it anyway.
I think I
something,
heard that
It's
too.
over. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I heard this
I've
statistic as well.
heard this statistic.
It's over 40% of people would love a subscription to a magazine that they like the content of for the holidays.
It's real personal, obviously tech-related, science.
Ooh, it's good stuff.
Yep.
Mark Cuban on the
Entertainment.
cover this time.
Yes. We got Cuban on the cover. We have lots of cool pieces inside, so make sure to check it out. And we've the animator from Into the Spider-Verse, which we
That's
It's
true.
great.
reviewed
We have
last week.
the
We got that available.
top 50 most innovative products, which kind of go through a grueling process that our editors go through and kind of test out and even try out things. So there's a great list of cool products if you got last-minute ideas or anything like that.
Make sure.
Christmas.
So yeah, make sure to keep an eye out and follow the link below for a subscription. You can put a link in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Until next time, this has been Anthony with the Weekly Buffer. I think you guys
guys.
also say something.
Until next time.
Good Dylan.